Everyone, it is 3 p.m. Eastern, so we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Jessica Bocci. I am the Director of Marketing with AIM Transportation Solutions. I just want to take a moment and thank everyone for joining us today. We really appreciate your time. So for the majority of the webinar, we're going to keep everyone on mute. This is just to eliminate background noise. At the end of the session, we're going to have Dan is going to take open questions. That's Dan Fleming, and Dan is who is hosting today. And we also have Mary Zigorevich, who is our in-house CWA expert on the line. She's also going to be fielding questions at the end of the session. So I just wanted to take one brief moment and kind of give you guys a little intro. So this webinar is focused on our powerful yet easy to use tool, which is CWA, which stands for Customer Web Access. CWA, for those of you who are customers with AIM and might not be familiar with it, is a transparency tool. It allows you to see information and data and really transforms data into information that's useful for you to make prudent business decisions using. So thank you guys again for joining us. And AIM is a company that offers transportation solutions in many different forms. One of the forms that we offer those in is information through initiatives like this webinar today. So AIM is at its heart a full service leasing, commercial rental, dedicated contract carriage company that offers other services such as maintenance packages, professional shop management, and the list goes on. Really, if you are hauling anything through your business, we have a solution for you and a way to improve your business model. As our name AIM Transportation indicates, AIM Transportation Solutions indicates we're solutions based. So this tool that we utilize, CWA, is something that all of our customers have access to. CWA is included with any kind of maintenance package, any kind of lease that AIM offers, and it's just another way that we can help our customers improve their business, serve their customers better. And at AIM, we have some of the brightest and most innovative members of the transportation community employed with us, so we like to utilize those members' knowledge to inform the community, the business community, and the transportation community, and anybody that can use this knowledge. So that's what we're here to do today. So with that being said, we have Mr. Dan Fleming, who's going to host today. Dan, whenever you are ready, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jessica. Really appreciate that introduction. And first of all, thank you all for joining us. We appreciate your time and hope to pass along a little knowledge for you about some of the information that AIM's able to offer. I think right off the bat, the idea of our customer web access, as you'll see, is our theme of transparency, where we want to offer you access to all the data in our system. And today, what I hope to cover is a brief CWA overview, including the different sections that you can touch on when you're using our customer web access. Whether it be your asset.
Well, I've never done color.
Your maintenance records, invoicing, fuel spend, rental spend, and then some of the dashboards we offer as well. So these days, data-driven decisions are really making our decision-making process more rich, more informed. Gone are the days of all that data being locked up on paper reports or paper work orders. You know, I remember as a kid going into our IT department at the time, which was a really cold room with a bunch of punch cards and really big disks. And it was good if you wanted to look at that data in that one room, but it wasn't accessible anymore. Fast forward to today, and our trucks are emailing us data about not only maintenance concerns, but mileage, electronic logs, you know, up-to-date real-time views of where our units are. So what can we do with that data is the real question, because unless you have access to that rich source of data, the data itself doesn't do us very good. So that's the real purpose of our customer web access. AIM's about partnering with our customers and sharing that data with you in the easiest way possible. CWA allows you to do that by logging in to AIM's webpage. Every customer that requested is given a login, a unique login and password ID. it then gets you into our CWA portal that gives you access to all the different sections we're going to speak about. One real nice feature of CWA is it allows all your data to be rolled up in one. So we're not just talking about full service lease information, but you'll see when we go through some of the examples, any way that you're interacting with AIM, whether it be with the full service lease, rental, or simply if we're a maintenance provider for you, or you purchase fuel with us, you have access to the whole gamut of information through AIM. In fact, we have a particular customer we just started working with in Eastern Pennsylvania, who the whole reason for using us is to get this portal and get access to their data under one roof. They were a fast-growing company through acquisition and ended up with disparate fleets with information under different roofs. And it didn't allow their leadership team to make good decisions to be able to have cost analysis under one roof. They're using AIM's Customer Web Access tool to do just that, to pull the data in from all their different fleets and be able to have one data source to pull from. I think you'll see as we touch on the different segments that our system's fairly exhaustive and meets that mark. So for starters, you can look at what we consider your assets. This is the way that you operate with us, whether it's a full service lease unit, or as I mentioned, a rental, or your own equipment. So this overview here can give you an idea of the status of those units. So is that unit operational, or for example, is that out of service for an accident? And we'll touch on this a little bit further, but you can then in all these different segments drill down. So for example, this work order link right here would be a hot link that would get you down into the data. But this is an up-to-date snapshot of your assets that you're working with AIM. And right here under cost centers, you can slice and dice the data any way you want. So you can just look at a different segment or location, or you can go into just simply looking at one particular type of make or model. Say you only want to look at your trailers, for example. This tool allows you to slice and dice it that way. In addition, we have a screen that shows you real-time dispatch. So we have a number of customers that utilize this every night in their operation when choosing which trucks to load for the next day. This real-time dispatch screen gives you a snapshot based on if there's an open EDVCR that a driver has written up, if in fact we've opened a work order, or if the unit's out of service. This is updated, like I said, real time. So if our shops are working on your truck and a unit may be out of service at 4 o'clock in the afternoon because we received a write-up, sorry about that, we can go ahead and update you real time through this tool to give you access of when that truck goes back into service. And just like with all of our tools, you can sort this by status, sort it by a facility, or a different unit type as well. Again, continuing with the theme of our assets, this also gives you an idea of, we call it meter management, but it's basically a snapshot of your current mileage readings. Not only does this allow you to see your current miles, but it also allows our customers to update us right here in the tool as to your mileage. So if we are, say, maintaining your equipment, this is a fast and easy way for you to report back to us your mileage so that we can make sure that we maintain your assets properly, keep the PM schedule up to date, and keep you on track. Next, really, I feel that this is the meat and potatoes of where CWA really excels, and that's the maintenance tab. To me, I might be a little biased, but this is really the type of information that many folks are looking for. All the data is easily stored, but more importantly, retrieved by you real time to provide you with your fleet's maintenance history. It's very handy under a DOT audit situation, of course, but also for equipment resale. So if we're maintaining a unit for you that you own, this can let you get your repair history right away And you'll see this as a reoccurring theme, but throughout CWA, it gives the opportunity for you to download this data into Excel spreadsheets for you to have access to offline and to share with others. One way that this data can be sliced and diced right here also is, we call it cost center, but also by component. So cost center would be, say, a different location. If again, in an example, you have 4 different locations, you can look at your maintenance only for one location versus another. You could look at this for a particular date range, for example. But as I alluded to under the components, I think this is very powerful. You can filter by VRMS code down to the 8-digit level. So just as an example, if you click right there on that section, you can see here where it allows you to look at not only, say, the 2-digit code, if you only want to look at axles or brakes. You can further drill down to, say, the 5-digit level or all the way down to the 8-digit level. So if you only wanted to look at kingpin repairs for your fleet, you can drill down to that level. So again, I think this is just to outline the flexibility of the system to help you get to the data as best you can. So once you've sorted the data and have what you're trying to track down, right here, as I alluded to before, this is our live link to our work orders. So if you go ahead and were to click on one of those work orders, it brings you right into our work order screen, so you can see the repairs that were done to that unit, including our comments. So this is warts and all. This is where I think the truth of transparency shows itself. All of our text comments appear here on these work orders for you to have access to. And of course, this data can be downloaded. These come up in PDFs and can be stored and shared with, say, for example, a DOT auditor. Similarly, this gives you access to your invoices. We, of course, many times, folks in our customers' accounts payable departments are looking for copies of invoices. This is a great tool for them to log on and see. So again, the similar theme, you can sort it by cost centers being different locations. You can look at a different date range here and can click on, say, any one of these invoices, and similar to what you saw in the work orders, it will bring up a copy of the invoice, which you can then print out, download, or do what you need to do with. But I think what's important to note is this example is, of course, for a lease contract, but this applies across the whole spectrum of whether it's maintenance, rental, fuel, lease. All the data is here, easily accessible to your team. This also gives you an invoice roll-up, essentially a statement. So you can, again, sort this by location and get a snapshot of the business that you're doing with AIM. Next, fuel reports are very important. We were just in a meeting this past week where we were discussing how nice ELD reports are in the sense that we're capturing all that data that we have to use for fuel tax purposes. Well, obviously, the other half of that data is the fuel spend. So anytime that you spend on a fuel buy at an AIM location, it's all captured here in our custom web access tool. And again, you can sort this by cost center. You can sort by a particular unit number. You can sort by types. So in this example, we're only looking at trailers. So therefore, if you needed this data to file for tax refunds, it's available as well. I think I just again want to highlight too that this is where I think the Excel function really can pay off as well. So you'll see this functionality throughout the custom web access tool, giving you the ability to click on that button once you choose the data you'd like to have. And once that button's clicked on, all the data comes into an Excel table that's available for you then to obviously pull out and do what you need. So in this example, speaking about fuel taxes, this provides all the fuel tax information you would need for any fuel purchased at an AIM location. again, right along similar themes, you can get into details about your rental spend with AIM. This too can be sorted by location, but I think also what's interesting is you're able to see the duration of a rental of that particular asset. So any unit, you can see how long it's been on rent, and you can see the most recent billed amount. Also, you'll see right here again, not only do you have access to the Excel downloads, but you can also get into some of the dashboard reports that we're going to get into in detail now. You know, with all that overwhelming data, I think sometimes we can get blinded to all of that on an Excel spreadsheet. So the idea behind these dashboard reports is to be able to give you live access to that data and interactive access to that data. It gives you quick graphing capabilities. So you don't necessarily have to download reams of data and then do a bunch of analysis on your own. You can do that live by drilling into the reports here. So for example, one of the canned reports that's available is, 10 costliest assets that folks like to look at. So all of these can be drilled into to get more information, for example, in this case, about what services are being spent on that particular unit. So this is not only for full service lease units, as we've alluded to, these are also available for maintenance customers. And I think this vehicle spend dashboard is a very nice example of that. So this is the total spent with AIM as a company on your vehicles, whether owned by you or leased through AIM or rented through AIM. And all of these can be drilled into. So as you can see right here, this shows your different cost center options. So then it's also broken down by your spend type. So these graphs are interactive in the sense that you can click right on any one of these bar graphs and then drill into more detail. So for example, if you wanted to look at one particular location, what is the vehicle spend with AIM? You can then see how it's broken down between different truck types, straight trucks, tractors, sleepers, or trailers. Obviously broken down whether it be maintenance, rental, or preventative maintenance. And then again, let's just take, for example, the fact that you wanted to see how the breakdown of sleepers was even further. You can drill into there and see we use particular distinction in this case for this customer between a standard sleeper and a premium sleeper. And you can drill into that further. So I think the idea to show here is that these dashboards are interactive. So it gives you the opportunity to keep stepping down into greater and greater detail. Similarly, this gets to just say, for example, your owned asset repair costs. So you don't necessarily care about the full service lease. You know what those predictable costs are. You're looking at some of the assets that AIM maintains for you over a particular time range. So you can drill into this data and see whether you're spending it on, say, your day cabs, again, your sleepers, or your trailers. And all of this, again, is interactive and can be sliced and diced, whether by date range or cost center or particular units, however you like. Finally, this goes to before the discussion on the maintenance tab of drilling in by VRMS code. This, I think, is a wonderful tool. This is just top 10 different segments of the truck that we're spending money on. So, in this example, trim and miscellaneous, obviously that's typically some physical damage issues. So is there an opportunity to work with your drivers on some driver training issues? Or, brakes, again, how much are we spending on brakes compared to suspensions or tires? So similar as the theme is, you can, again, drill into this as well to see just one particular VRMS code, for example, brakes, and see how you're split that up amongst whether trailers, tractors, or however else your fleet is segregated. So I think the idea is just that these dashboards give you a nice interactive way to get into the data without having to download a bunch of Excel charts and build these reports on your own. They're in an interactive way available for you real time on the website. So as Jessica said, we'd like to think of ourselves as a transportation solution provider and like to meet our customers wherever they're at. So obviously full service leasing is a core of AIM, but we're happy to work with our customers, whether it just be preventative maintenance or brokerage or professional shop management. This tool provides different assets, different functions to all of our customers. And in reality, the vast majority of our customers we're working with in different segments across the offerings that we have. So in other words, a full service lease customer is also a maintenance customer and could potentially be a pro shop customer. I think the idea of CWA is all of that data that AIM has gathered for you is open, transparent, and accessible to you, our customers. And we provide this tool for you to get at that data and dig into it in any way you can. So with that, I want to thank you for your time, but more importantly, see you if you have any questions that anyone of the team can help with.
So if you guys want to ask questions, there's two ways. You can just unmute yourself and verbally state the question. There's also on the bottom right-hand side of your screen a little text box where I just typed hi to everyone. You can either send a question just to me or to the entire group. So however you're comfortable, but both Dan and Mary, who Mary has a better grasp of the technical end of CWA, is happy to answer any questions. Questions?
Hello, Dan. I was wondering what the cost is of this web access.
Thank you for asking that. So for customers of AIM, there's no charge for access to this. We'd obviously have you under whether it be just a preventative maintenance program or all the way into full service lease. This is a free tool that we offer to our customers. If you're already an AIM customer and don't have access to CWA, please just contact your AIM representative and we'll get you signed up.
Great answer. So we had, Dan, another one that came through. It says, are you able to reprint invoices from CWA?
Yes, I think in one of those slides we showed where you can click on a particular invoice, it comes up in a PDF format to either download or print.
Perfect. Okay, I just had another one come across. Let's see, I think this is for Mary. If I have multiple locations, can I segregate reporting by the locations?
Yes, absolutely. When you are in the Invoices tab or repair history or whatever you're looking for, you can search by cost center or by sub-location, and then you're narrowing down your results. And then if you needed to export that to Excel or whatever, you could do that. So that way you can narrow down depending on which location you're looking for.
And Mary, if I could just add on to that too.
Sure.
CWA is great in the sense that we recognize that your organizations have different levels of employees who care about different segments. So it can also be set up where a particular login only sees their facility, for example. So if you are a multi-location customer of AIMS, you can give a login to a manager of one particular location who then only has access to that person's location rather than the entire fleet.
That's correct.
Okay, I have another question that just came through. Can we restrict access to data by user?
Yes, and that's actually what Dan was just touching on. When we set up user accounts, we set them up with access to specific cost centers or specific locations. So, Joe from accounting can go in and see invoices for only the East plant, and maybe someone from maintenance at the West plant can only go in and pull work orders or invoices from that location based on the permissions that we set.
Great. All right, does anyone else have any questions? Again, you can just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask, or type them into the box.
Yeah, hi. We're currently a full lease customer of yours. If we sign up for CWA, do you pre-populate everything on the vehicles we lease now?
Correct. So if you're already an AIM customer, all of that data is already in our system historically, and giving you your sign-in and login just gives you access to the data that's already there. So everything that you've done with AIM should be there. Mary, I mean, I would think all the way back to when they started working with AIM, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
So again, if you want to sign up for that, all you have to do is reach out to your AIM representative. They'll work with Mary and the team there in our IT department, get you a login, and you'll have, again, free access to all of this data. And then if you need some help on how to use it, whether your AIM representative could come in and chat with you, or they'll get you in touch with our IT team to dig into some of the details on how to use the more sophisticated parts of it.
Great. Any other questions? Anyone else? All right. Well, I'd just like to reiterate what Dan said, and that's that, you know, information and transparency is vital to success. If we know better, we do better. So we know our competition is utilizing similar systems. They're not as robust, and we don't think they're as streamlined and user-friendly as ours, but they are similar. So, you know, you can likely assume that your competition is doing the same. You know, this kind of transparency is really happening now, and we want to support our customer base and support them through the transition. If this is something new to you, if you have something that you're using in-house that's similar, you might want to look at switching it up and just seeing what AIM has to offer, because we definitely are supportive of our customers through the adoption of CWA, making sure everyone has access, everyone's trained, everyone knows what they're doing. So thank you very much to Dan for hosting today. Thank you to Mary for being on and helping us. And Mary's a great asset to all of our customers, who a lot of them will reach out to her to get set up, and she can kind of ease the transition with that. So Dan, Mary, thank you guys so much. I'm going to send out, it'll probably be either late today or tomorrow morning, a recording, a link to the recording from this video, along with Dan's contact information, Mary's contact information, and my contact information. If you had any questions about anything that came up today, if you have any questions about AIM in general, we're happy to help. And thank you for your time, and we hope to see you on more of our webinars in the future. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thanks,
you all.
Jess.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.